Yes, sir. You already know what it is. Your boy Professor Pivot back in here being on I Traded Agent trying to get at it, trying to get live. You know what it is. You already know. Yeah. Last week we did not do a weekend analysis, but the market overall was lovely enough to where we was able to catch some positions throughout the week. And it was probably pretty much back at another break-even week for me. Didn't really do too much on AU this week simply because last week we had that big ass bullish impulse. Was that last week or earlier this week? That was, let me get my times right. Yeah, that was early this week. So market open, big ass bullish impulse to the top side. Yeah, when price actions just do something crazy unexpectedly, especially if you know how to identify structure and see where price action is trying to go, and you see you got this bearish trend here, price action is breaking structure looking left, then all of a sudden we take off and go to the top side. We kind of tap into a little demand area here. But yeah, this was unexpected for me. So ultimately on the higher time frames, I knew we were breaking structure looking left, creating new highs. I knew we should have been looking for shorts, but yeah, I was overall looking for continuation shorts. I was not really wanting to mess with AU too much. I did see shorts right here on what was this Monday night Asia session. What I saw was, like I said earlier, that big ass impulse to the top side. We created new highs looking left, and then once we got to the Asia session, we started to chop around. Wasn't necessarily really much pushing bullish, and I wanted to take sniper shorts from there, but and I'm at the point where I'm like. I don't really know how far this is going to pull down, how far it's going to retrace before it goes back up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the break even. So I didn't take the short, but where I got the position to drawn in at is where I was watching the market and where I wanted to get in, looking simply on the 1 minute as the Asian session opened up, creating higher highs and higher lows. We pulled back. I actually saw this price action fail to break this high, and then wanted to take shorts as we started to break and started wanted to take shorts as we started breaking lows, looking left right here. But like I said, overall, ultimately missed it. The patient trader would have let all this play out, let this pull back, and then ultimately would have got in from there and taken the shorts. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't really wanting to mess with AU too much this week. So we did missed out on those shorts, did take these buys right over here, simply as a break and retest trade of the structure most recently broken. Came down, pulled back a little bit further than I thought it would. Saw it leak some more. Then once it came back, um, down to 15 minutes, a little bit easier to see, a little bit more structure. Once it started to pull back up, I kind of saw this as a break of structure right here on a 15-minute chart. And then once it started to come back down, I was expecting it to react from this level. It pulled down once and then continued to go bear. So I was kind of nervous at first, but then it started to play back out bullish. So ended up hitting a little small TPs right up in there. And then, yeah, like I said, for the rest of it, just didn't see too much. I saw this price action play out, but I didn't really trust it. Ultimately because of this big ass bullish impulse. Like I said, as price action is retracing, you don't necessarily know exactly how far it's going to retrace. So I like to let price action set up the structure first and then come back and play off the structure that's created. So simply for this week coming up, from a higher time frame, from a 1 hour perspective, let's go out to a 4 hour perspective, a little bit easier. Price action is still But yeah, price action still making higher highs and higher lows. Ultimately, we kind of just broke the most recent higher low on the 4 hour time frame with this price action here. So we could see some bearish price action as the week opens up. But overall, as we know within the trading structures, once you just break a higher time frame structure, you ultimately probably gonna get a retracement first and then drop versus it dropping first and then retracement. But we're gonna see what that thing do once our price action opens back up. But yeah, for the most part, I don't think I did too much more with AU. Most of my trades this week came from G or UJ. Yeah, I just saw a lot of opportunities, especially from the weekly open. With that big ass gap being in the market. I don't know if you can see it as well on a 4 hour time frame, but overall, 4 hour time frame, and blank that thing. Price action opened up here. What we saw was price action breaking above structure looking left, and we was trying to see if there was opportunity for a retracement. Kind of like on AU, but here we have structure that we broke earlier within the trend, and then we got the retracement come back on a higher time frame. So it's a little bit easier to trade the shorts on UJ than AU, just because, like I said, the structures were more recently close, where we're closer to where price action was currently in the market versus on AU. You got this big ass impulse. There's no structure until we get all the way back down here. So as these shorts take off, you don't have any areas or zones you're really trying to match up within the market to see which direction it's going to go in. So these shorts are seeming a little bit more riskier here for me on AU versus UJ, whereas we're bullish here. We got a structure here. We pushed up and broke through. So now I'm expecting the shorts to take off versus on AU. I don't know. Maybe it might push bears, it might not. If it pull back and you hop in full loaded, then get your head knocked. I wasn't trying to do that this week, so I wasn't interested in getting my head knocked. So I sat back patiently, yeah, what I'm saying, and just executed. So once price action came up, I saw it push up and create a new weekly high or new 4 hourly high. Came back, closed that gap, and then retested the previous 4 hour higher low. We did get a bullish reaction coming deep within this level. I was able to catch a buy down in here during the Asian session earlier this week, simply because I was looking for bullish reaction from this level because it was a previous higher low within the market. We got somewhat of a retracement, but ultimately, overall should be still continuing to look for the best bearish setups, and because price action didn't necessarily break above structure right over here on the 15-minute, bump out to the hourly. Yeah, we've got a resistance right here on the hourly. So ultimately taking those retracement trades back into that structure and then seeing what price action does once it gets into this area. And as we can see, we came up respected resistance right over here and then smashed out to the downside. So we bump back out to a, yeah, this is outside of the Asian session. So I wasn't probably, looking for this setup during the New York session. So yeah, I missed the shorts here and came over back to the Asian session. For the most part, I think what I was looking for here was definitely a retracement trade to close back in this gap, kind of like the same idea or concept backing up in here. Waiting for price action to dip down below, and then I was probably watching this on a 1 minute time frame, and once it shifted over bullishly, I hopped in. Didn't push as high as I thought it was going to, but as the week continued, we did end up breaking that Asian low, and then price action rolled over and created what I thought, well, from a higher time frame, was a new 4 hourly low. And then as we can see, price action does come back bullish and close above 1 hour structure here. So was able to catch like kind of break and retest trade set up right here, capture some profits right out in here. Then I tried to catch that same kind of break and retest type setup and got cooked to the top side. So ultimately, I do think UJ might continue to retrace within this 4 hour range from the high to the low. Let's see. Some of this charts, I can see what's really going on. Really get rid of all this. I have not reanalyzed the charts to see what I think is going to happen next, but ultimately, I think we are going to come back deep within this range. And then once price action gets back up in here, it'll be time to make a good decision. Say, okay, are we going to break and continue to go bullish and have continuation buys about at 133, 169? Or are we going to come and respect and give you some funky price action like this and leak? We do have US holidays on Friday, so yesterday, and then on Monday coming up. So a lot of bank holidays. So necessarily what I do is look to see if any red photo news potentially is going to take off to potentially spark the market, since we kind of mostly consolidated, not really doing too much movements on, most of the pairs all around on Friday, and then on Monday is gonna be pretty much the same type of ordeal. So Tuesday, what we'll do, look at the news and say, okay, was there anything that's going to potentially spike the market on Tuesday? So, not probably going to have some more consolidation, some more whack price action on Tuesday as well. So, you need to jump down to Wednesday and you got USD CPI. So, ultimately, potentially, we could just be ranging for the most part on Monday. We probably might start to pump fake the ranges on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, yeah, we could be looking to see if we have anything that's going to spike us back to the downside on USD JPY, or if we break above this 4 hour resistance here, potentially we could keep going bullish. That bullish scenario, where could we possibly go? Blank some of these. Ooh, that's cute. Yeah. Okay. So we could come back to 133,723. You're looking at a nice little range back to the top side if it does break bullish. So ultimately, yeah, it makes resistance on the 4 hour time frame right up in this right up in here. 123, 786, yeah. Or 132, 786. We could get a slight retracement right up in here and then pop right up in there. And then once we push back up into that area right up in there, which is that 4 hourly high, yeah, we're making some crucial decisions as to whether I think we're gonna continue to go bullish or bearish. Looking over at GU, did not take any trades on GU, but from the weekend analysis, wanted to see if a bullish outcome, wanted to see at least a 15-minute rollover bullish unless price action breaks to the downside. From the weekend analysis, weekly open price action was still bearish. And if it wanted to go bullish, if we wanted to take buys, we wanted to see it at least roll over bullish back at least to the 15-minute time frame. It was potentially right up in this area, was your first indication that price action was going to continue to go bullish. There's this structure break on the hourly going out to the 15-minute time frame. You have structures being jammed up too as you go lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Here's your first break, and you got the retest. So potentially you could have had buys as price action broke above this area right over her, targeting back into that 1 hour resistance and even that 4 hour and daily. But if you know how to get down, you can take those type of price action plays. But ultimately, I was not focused on GU this week. I don't necessarily ever focus on GU, so it's just something I throw up on there. And if it look hot when I come back to it, then I'll hop in, but not then keep it pushing. GJ, I've been trying to link back up with GJ here recently. I used to trade GJ a lot, especially last year. But yeah, AU kind of took over, and then I've been rocking with AU ever since. But ultimately, what I see on UJ is weekly open. We came up creating new highs on a 4 hourly and a daily time frame. So ultimately, I'm looking at for the most part, I should be looking at this analysis from higher time frame perspective as we higher high, higher low, higher high now. So potentially this is your new range from this high to this low. So price action breaking back all this right over here. Necessarily could just be corrective price action until we break below this 158, 278. So you could take shorts within, that little trend. You just gotta be careful, don't get your head cooked. If I see proper shorts within that little trend, then yeah, most definitely. What I'm saying, this little trend right here, as we pull back, as long as we pull back and we don't break this low right over here, then we would still be considered bullish on the higher time frames, my friends. So that's what we're looking for. Ultimately, yeah, probably gonna have to reanalyze here too, because I did have 4 hour and daily structures broken on this chart. So yeah, didn't really take any action on GJ this week. But this will be something I'm looking at this week, or I'll highlight it right over here to say, okay, well, potentially if we don't break this high, we got a nice little retracement. Potentially we could catch some of those shorts back into levels on a higher time frame. But for the most part, we just play it based off the hourly and the 15-minute. Let's see, have we had any structural breaks? No. So potentially, yeah, potentially this could kick back to the downside. So right from where it's at. So definitely want to pay attention to the structure that it came up on. Want to see how price action gets. If it does start breaking these structures here, then definitely could be expecting price action to dip right on down. And then if it does come down and take out that low, then what we'd be looking for is breakout shorts. Potentially could take possible sales below a breakout positions, continuation sales, or break and retest trade positions. So yeah, because this did kind of, break structure right over here. and has not really broken structure as it starts to pull back. So if it does leak, we could potentially take the breakout shorts there. But the way I've been seeing price action lately, I'm more successful waiting on that retracement and then let that thing leak one more time. So yeah, potentially could catch them breakout shorts coming into this week, but definitely want to see price action roll over at least on the 15-minute and start becoming bearish. So areas like this, I would like to see how price action reacts once it gets back down in there. And then as we break below here, then definitely can start to confirm some shorts. And then we have the equal lows right up in here. So resting internal liquidity on the lower time frame. So yeah, definitely some liquidity on the lower time frame. So definitely could see price action pick up momentum as it starts to break through these levels on 15-minute on GG. UCAD, I wanted to pull the trigger on these shorts on UCAD. We had a continuation sales below zone, like I said, break and retest trades of that area. But it's starting to pull back a little bit too high for me. So I definitely need to see some engulfing candles here soon on UCAD to try to take these continuation shorts below that 35,072. But it just ain't. I need to see something big, something strong come back down, and then continue that trend from the higher time frame on down. We big bearish. Now on the flip side of that, if that scenario does not play out and we get back above, closing above 1 hour resistance, you most definitely know we will take those break and retest trades back there all the way back up into 4 hours. This does need to be reanalyzed because this range could be incorrect. Simply because we broke through the 4 hour support. So I would need to go back to the 4 hour time frame and see which high area potentially could be that one. This all could be one push. So, but whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. So if we get started close above that one point 35, 564, then yeah, we could be lining this type of price action up. So with them potentially consolidative days coming up within the market, um, yeah, it's gonna be tough in the first beginning of this week. On gold, oh man, I did actually take a trade on gold, and I actually hopped in a little too early. And then once I did hop in too early, I set up a paper trade right over here for these shorts, breaking retest, and they got cooked. But ultimately, the buys that I was looking for right over here, price action did dip back down, pulling back out to the higher time frames on the 4 hourly. We are bullish, bully. And I dropped this analysis probably like 2 weeks ago, looking at gold. We are bullish, and I said, okay, well, we are big bullish on the higher time frames. I was wanting to take shorts. Like it was like 2 weeks ago. I was talking about this. I think 1 week or 2 weeks. It was a weekend analysis. I always want to take shorts right up in here, but what I was saying was we are big bullish. Can't necessarily you take the shorts until you see the shorts, and then on the lower time frame, that's the 4 hours, the 1 hour lower time frame. Once I saw price action close below, I tried to take a break and retrace and got cooked right over here on the shorts. But um, yeah, I was trying to play the longs as well, and they did not work in my favor either. The longs is which when I lost on, I paper traded the shorts. Um, but yeah, ultimately the fake out below this 15-minute range right up in here from the high to the low was what kind of enticed me to set up the paper trade for the shorts. But looking for the buys, we pushed down from the weekly open. We came down into the demand, looking left as price action pushed up here and started to retrace. I definitely thought we was gonna get the retest of the 15-minute resistance area, pull back, and then continue to go bearish or go bullish. And I was looking to retest the structure resistance, whatever, right above it on gold. I don't really trade gold too often, so I was definitely looking for a quick snipe, scalp trade and get up out of that thing. But ultimately, yeah, like I said, it didn't work out. But then once it, manipulated that 15-minute demand area, pushed back up into the high, broke the high, pulled back a little bit more, and yeah, kick the boodle. After this right here, I was no longer interested. I got cooked enough for gold. I don't trade gold that often, but once I shot my shot and it didn't work, yeah, boss, paper trades on out. So ultimately gold pushing bullish, breaking 4 hour structures, daily structures, everything to the top side. So definitely will have to reanalyze this. This is not the weekend analysis right here. This right here was just kind of a review of what price action did last week, how the opportunities I took to get into the market, and then potentially what's coming up next week. I don't know if I will create a video for the weekend analysis simply because and because you watching this right here, you pretty much can line up what we're looking for already on gold. Let's see, we would get rid of this 1 hour resistance for broken 15 minute. No bueno. Get rid of all this. Okay, chain, no bueno. Did. So based off of daily, this was the high to the low. Created the new. This would have been a new high, yeah. So then the daily, it's a 4 hour time frame, but then the higher low would have started here and then pushed to create the new high. So the range is ultimately from this high to this low. I don't like that for a daily range though. Let's see who is on line this up or based off of the 4 hour. And then we'll jam way up here. Now we can identify this as a 4 hour resistance simply because we have had a break of structure already. We higher low, higher high. We broke below that higher low area. So definitely that's how we are able to identify that 4 hour resistance right over here. Price action is bullish, creating a new higher high. Pulls back, price action does not break the high to the top side, but once it comes back down, price action does not break the low. And from there, we proceeded to create higher highs and higher lows. So this would be the demand on the 4 hour time frame that pushed us bullish and created a new high. So ultimately, yeah, then we could potentially get rid of that. Bullish continuation zone, we do understand and identify that level, but based off of structure on the 4 hourly time frame, potentially could be looking for a deeper retracement. Like I said, I don't trade gold, and one of the things that I was keeping in the back of my mind with UJ this week was, I know I don't trade UJ often, but what I do know is UJ does not like to do deep as retracement. So instead of waiting for the deeper 0.50s, 0.68s, 0.70s on the fib scales, definitely on UJ trading UJ, I was definitely waiting for them 382 setups. On gold, I don't know how far this is potentially going to pull back. And if you don't know anything about the fibs, then this is what I'm talking about right here, the levels that it potentially pull back to 382 to 50. The 618, I think I said 658 earlier, but the 618 is usually right up in there. Let me see, big fibs, something like that, 618 to 70 to 786, and so on and so forth. But on UJ, I'm looking forward to, once it push and create a new high, we're looking forward to come back into the 382 and then skedaddle back to the top side. On gold, I don't know it's necessarily how far it necessarily likes to pull back. Stuttering and shit over here. But yeah, so ultimately we'll definitely just play the structures, 4 hourly low to a 4 hourly high. As far as 1 hour range, wait to the 4 hour, reset that thought. So this would potentially be my 1 hour support area. The 1 hour resistance would be exactly in the same spot the 4 hour resistance is. So ultimately, my range on the lower time frames will look something like this. And then as we start to set up the 15-minute levels, if you want to start looking for the quick scalp positions, then we put in that 15-minute range, from the low to the high, and we wait for the break. Real simple. That's hard to set up. Now, because price action is starting to create bearish structure right here on the 1 hour and the 15-minute, we definitely look to see if price action is going to retrace first and push back into resistance, and then come back down. So if that does set up and happen within the market, then we getting in. Yeah, we getting in. We come in and start fumbling around right here looking for our keys, and we're gonna drop them right up in the market. You know what I'm saying? People get to the front though, fumbling with the keys. Yeah, price action come to the structure right here and start fumbling with them keys, we getting in. We looking for that. But if it does break above here, then you better wait. You better sit on them keys. You better find them hoes and don't get chose, because it definitely can do whatever it wants. The higher time frames are pushing bullish right now. As price action open within next week, I would look to see how we react within this range right up here. Do we, continue to consolidate? We know we got those US holidays coming up on Monday and potentially some consolidation on Tuesday. So do we start to get funky right here, see a fake of the lows, fake of the highs, and then come back down and then continue? It could happen like that. So yeah, it's best to wait and sit back and see what's gonna crack. But overall, I think that's pretty much it. AU, I took a couple trades here and there. UJ got funky with their ass and you know what I'm saying, start eating up the market a little bit. But yeah, right now I'm gonna just reanalyze and reset up and put the picture back together and see what's up for this week though. But that's all the time I got for y'all on this. So I'm about to slide. I got things to do, but I'm gonna holler at y'all. It's been a nice week. If you got questions, comments, concerns, hit them comments for you boys. You know, I don't mind reaching out to the audience and all that good shit. So you know, yeah. Outside of that, stay safe. Get you some fruit, get you some vitamins in you because it is rough out in them streets. Outside of that, I'm up out of that thing. I'm about to slide.